Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias, fresh off the heels of the Squiddy WH unboxing, and it's finally time to talk about the Chroma V2.5. Now, I'll be fully transparent in saying not only did Chroma Balisong send this out for free, but I actually also got a Chroma V3, which you might remember there was a package in the Gaboon video that I said I was going to check out later that week. Never happened because I opened up the package, did my whole unboxing video, but my conclusions were strange. I ended up really preferring the 2.5 over the 3. There were other improvements in like how it feels and all of that, but the flipping of the V3 was almost like I felt that there had to be a mistake somewhere in the line. So I found out actually that my Chroma V3 had a particular issue that makes it not representative of what the Chroma V3 is actually going to be. So I'm in the process of sorting that out with Chroma Balisong. But unfortunately, that means that my conclusions in that video were not accurate to what the product is going to be, even in the slightest. So I decided to just scrap it. And I'll have to wait to check out the V3 until that fix happens. And I can coordinate with Chroma on that. But it does not stop me from talking about the 2.5. And while the 2.5 is not available anymore, you can't buy it anymore. Or at least you might not be able to. I think the V3 is releasing soon. Maybe you can still buy a 2.5, but you probably don't want to, considering he's already announced a V3. It's strange. I don't really know what's going on there, but I figured I would talk about it because the Chroma V2 and 2.5 were probably the most requested Balisongs I have ever had. So much so that I was almost kind of getting annoyed with people telling me to check out the Chroma. It became every single day I would get a message like, hey, are you planning on checking out the Chroma? And the answer would always be like, haven't gotten around to it yet. And then by the time I did get around to it, Chroma released that he was making a V3. And then shortly after that, he reached out to me to see if I wanted to do a video on him. And I was like, yeah, for sure, dude. Because, you know, a lot of people have recommended it to me. But I am here to say, almost begrudgingly, because it happens so much. Holy cow. I was like the plastic guy back in the day, you know, because I talked about all the plastic Balisongs. So it made sense. It was so much. So much. The only question that you get more is, what's better, this or that? Which I made a whole video about why it's a stupid question. I don't like answering it. But yeah, the Chroma, to my, I'll be honest, slight annoyance, is really, really good. All those people who recommended it to me were definitely in the right place when they said that they thought it was really good or I would really like it. It's very similar to something like the Edit Lite, I would say. Like the balance reminds me of something like the Edit Lite if the Edit Lite wasn't so chunky and floaty. Now, I personally like that the Edit is chunky and floaty like that. Like that's kind of what makes it special to me because you can't really get that in metal. Kuno not included in that sentence, I guess. But the Chroma V2.5 feels a little bit like the Edit Lite if it wasn't as chunky. It's still a little chunky, don't get me wrong. Like, it's still like thick, but it's not as thick as the Edit Lite, and it's certainly not as long as the Edit Lite. So if you're someone who goes, oh, the Edit Lite is really good, I just don't like how big it is, this might be the Balisong for you. It's still bigger than your typical like Squiddy model, but I think it just feels a little bit more manageable in the hand. And it feels very, very good. Premium build. Nice construction. It's got like the old Tay flipper style where you've got these spacers that you can change out and then there's weights going up all the way through. It's really nice. I like how it's built. It's got end weight, but it doesn't feel like crazy. And it's got a lot of tip weight, obviously, because it's got like the Tay flipper style. I know Tay didn't invent any of the stuff that I'm saying, but just to give you an idea, ball bearings at the end. And it flips really, really good. It flips, like I said, like the Edit Lite to me. It just feels right. Like there's nothing crazy awkward about it. It does what you want it to do. It has the momentum that you want, the weight that you want. And I like it quite a bit. I can choker fan it much better than I can choker fan the Edit Lite, which back when I flipped the Edit Lite mainly, I didn't really choker fan that much. Nowadays, like you can do it, but it's no secret that the Edit is big. Again, I like it for that. I think that's what makes it unique, but I think the Chroma might appeal to a wider audience of people We'll see. Because again, I have yet to try like a full-fledged V3. But it's good. I almost wish I unboxed them separately, because when I first flipped the Chroma 2.5, I was really impressed by it. I really liked it. But, you know, I can't in good faith release a video where my conclusion was the old product is kind of better when there is a quite major flaw with the V3 that I received, which isn't anyone's fault. It happens. Mistakes, you know, slip through the cracks sometimes. Wow, just like that, slipped through the cracks of my fingers. But yeah, the 2.5 definitely worth talking about. If you have one, you're recommending it to me, thank you. It's definitely pretty good. I like it. I'm not going to get into like the weeds of like, oh, what's the specs and all of that, because again, you can't buy these anymore. So I don't think there's really too much for that. So I really only have this for comparison when I do get the full-fledged V3 experience. But I figured it would be worth it to just make a video because, you know, I teased the Chroma on my Instagram story and in the Gaboon video and then never delivered. So here's your Chroma video. I will say it's not perfect to me. The feel in the hand isn't amazing. Again, this is just the 2.5. The 3 actually fixed that problem quite a bit. And this Zen pin, or Zen nipple, very pinchy. It's much like the Nemesis in that regard. But other than that, I don't know. It's just a very comfortable, it feels right. Something about the Chroma V2.5 feels right. I don't exactly know where I would put it on my sort of like plastic tier list, or in my top 3 plastics. I would probably put this above the Calico 1.5, but again, I've only had this for like 4 days now, which is enough to have like more than just first impressions of it, but it's also not as long as I would normally like to spend with a product. You know, like I usually spend like a week or so and I get my thoughts kind of in order. So I don't really know exactly where it would go on my plastic tier list, but I think it would definitely go in the top 3. I think it flips very well. It looks very good. It feels very good. And overall, it's a pretty solid product. So good job, Chroma. I am a fan, just like I am a fan of ending this video instead of rambling for another 10 minutes on nothing. Thank you all for watching. I know it's been a while since I've covered plastic stuff, but we're kind of making a return to plastic this week with the Squiddy WH and now the Chroma. And in the future, we'll have the Chroma V3. It'll be pretty cool. But that's going to do it for me. I am going to go flip the Squiddy AL a little bit more because I am considering making my Squiddy AL video a main channel video instead of on Blade Bias. Like, I'll still talk about it on Blade Bias, but I won't go totally in depth. But we'll see. I've got another big project that I'm working on for my main channel that I kind of want to focus on. So, and obviously don't expect an I spent a week with the Chroma. I don't really see any point in doing it. Considering that this was halfway to that video anyway, and like I said, it's a discontinued product that has a direct replacement that I will have access to. So that video will be out eventually. Gosh, I'm so scrambled in this video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Later.